Thank you so much for joining me, guys. My name is Greg. I'm a growing artist, and each video I explore new ways to learn. Today, I'm going to be going over lines, a very basic principle of art and design. And this is something that a lot of people actually overlook. It's something that they think, oh, it's basic. Well, I've got it down. But even me in my art career, this is something that I'm working on consistently, trying to get cleaner lines, better lines, things that are more controlled, smooth. It's definitely a physical aspect, physical skill that I'm trying to improve on every time I go in to draw. So this is a exercise that I've designed for myself that might provide some value for you. It's quite meditative. It's actually pretty nice. I could do it for hours. And yes, if you do get value from this video and want to see more videos like this, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel, where I put out videos every week that explore my art journey, and I look for new ways to grow, as well as share some advice that I've come across throughout my learning process. So I'm going to give you a brief explanation of what lines are, how you might be able to use them, and then get into the exercise. Hey friends, so let's go over lines. Lines are one of the very basic design principles. So there's lines, shape, form, texture, and balance. Depending on what you're looking at, there are a number of different design principles, but those are pretty typical for being on the list of the fundamental ones. So I'll show you how to make a line. This one might be helpful to you. You might already know it, but there's a technique called ghosting, and this can be really helpful for you. It's essentially what a practice swing is to a golfer or a baseball player is to an artist. So you want to hold your pen just above the piece of paper or pad you're drawing on without touching it, and do a practice stroke without touching it. And you might want to do that a couple times till you get a good feel of where it's going to be. And once you've got it, you just commit to that same motion. Okay, I've got a little bit of a wavy line there, but mistakes are mistakes, and they happen. And there are a number of different lines. You could do squiggly lines, you could do jagged lines, you could do short lines or long lines. All these different things, and you could also combine them to get a different effect, like cross-hatching, which is just the overlapping. They use that for shading and different effects there. And however you use your line is going to be very important for when you are creating. And here's an example of two little drawings that I did, but using line in very different ways. So the blue drawing, I did a very continuous, smooth, long line or two, I don't remember, but this makes for a really attractive drawing, and it's very simple to look at, easy on the eyes. And then the cat drawing, I did a little bit sharper lines, shorter, and much more numerous, and you could tell that the effects that they give off are very different. All right, and I want to go over a single type of line that I'm trying to avoid, and which is why I developed this exercise that I'm going to do. It's so that I can get rid of something I like to call fuzzy line. So when you're making a circle or whatever shape, oftentimes, without thinking, a beginner artist will make a line that is unconfident, and they make it fuzzy. While you may be able to get a good shape out of it, it comes with a lot of unintended consequences. One of them is that everything you draw is going to look fuzzy. So unless that is your intention, then I recommend trying to get over that and draw some more confident lines for this purpose. All right, yep, drawing a little character there. Okay. All right, so we have a normal print ad that we're going to use for today's exercise. So this is going to work pretty well. It's a home furniture ad. So it's got a lot of different pictures of rooms and stuff. And what we're essentially going to do is find a good image, an interesting image that we're going to be able to draw on top of, and essentially just trace it out. This one seems to be good, so let's go ahead and start out. I don't know which one's going to show up better on camera, so I brought 2 pens. Let's try out this thinner one first, see how it comes out. And essentially what I'm going to focus on is just making confident straight lines, and maybe focus on the shadow shapes. And with this, you can really just focus on whatever you want. And this is really going to help me with my dexterity and figuring out what I need to work on. All right. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just tracing out the outline of these shapes while paying attention to the perspective that exists within the image and the shadow shapes. And hopefully I'll be able to apply this to my own work. And while I've been doing this, I've done this a few times already with other pages on this. It's really helped me think about what I could be applying to my own artwork that are blind spots, essentially. So, like, one thing that I'm noticing right now is this bend in this pillow. It's not something that I would really consider putting into my artwork if I were drawing a couch, but that's something that I could definitely apply. So this will definitely help with visual memory as well. So I think it's something that I will come back to in the future. Plus, it's really meditative. Something you can just go about and not really think about too much while you draw. Oop. Okay. Yeah. So I can tell that there's a bigger lighting source coming from this direction, and I could tell by how the shadows are being formed here. Yeah. So I recommend this for a fun, easy exercise when you're not really sure what to do or how to grow. It's really nice to just not have to think about what you need to draw while working on some of the physical skills that we talked about last time. So the dexterity, the line weight, if you're using pencil, or something like a brush pen. I'll actually use that for my next one. So I've got a felt tip pen that applies a little bit different pressure. I'm looking for a bigger picture that I'll be able to use. Maybe something in the center. Okay. So felt tip. This one you can apply different pressure to. So this one, depending on what medium you're using or what tool, you can work on different things like line weight. Yeah, this is really nice.